Charlie Sheen is known to millions for his award-winning body of work on television and in the movies. But this morning, he's here to talk about something immensely personal and private.
I'm here to admit that I am, in fact, HIV positive.
And how many people have you told about this?
I've told enough that I trusted to be in the position and the situation that I'm in today.
It's not all about you.
Look at these two. Wow. Who's got it better than me? I'm just gonna hang out right here.
It's no secret that you have an affinity for porn stars.
Well, I mean, wow, listen to that statement.
Why?
Well, look at what they do. Look at what I do. Duh.
You know, you say duh, but I don't get it. What is it?
It's exciting, it's fun, and you already know what you're getting before you meet them.
Because you've watched them.
No, because I'm guessing right. Well, of course. What's not to watch? They're the best at what they do, and I'm the best at what I do, and together it's like, it's on.
It's also well documented that Sheen often prefers to pay for the company of women.
Is it the same for prostitutes? Is it that it's good sex?
Yeah, who wants to deal with all the small talk and nonsense? And so you're paying for something that eliminates that. I don't know, it makes sense to me. As long as you're not lying to anybody. As long as you're not lying to people, I think whatever you do and there's no children involved, then you're okay. But people are gonna judge it because they're so jealous and they're doing it behind closed doors, and it's like, really, dude, really?
I could be dead right now. I could literally be dead right now because he didn't tell me that. I would never do to anyone what Charlie did to me. That is giving someone a possible death sentence. I would never do that to someone, ever.
Talk about explosive anger from Charlie Sheen that got physical.
He would frequently push me. He attempted to punch me. He choked me, and to the point that I almost lost consciousness. It was a frequent occasion of him cornering me and locking me into a room so I couldn't escape. Started crying, and he continued to hold it and point it at my face and pull the trigger. It was prescribed to his pseudonym, and it said Truvada. And for a second, I was shocked because I didn't understand why Truvada pills would be in his medicine cabinet.
She sat on the information, not confronting Sheen, but he ultimately came clean to her.
He was very sad, and he made me believe he regretted not telling me.
Ross says she had intimate relations with the actor before she discovered he was HIV positive. She claims that she got pregnant, but Sheen forced her to get an abortion.
Did he say anything to you about not wanting to have a child who was HIV positive?
He said, I don't want to have a child with my blood type.
She told me why she went ahead with the abortion.
It was irresponsible to bring a child into this world that I couldn't support, and I was not going to bring a child into this world where its own father didn't want it.
Exposed me to HIV for 1.5 years.
Not long ago, videotape surfaced of Ross setting fire to all her memories with Sheen, including photos and love letters. Their engagement lasted 9 months.
Oklahoma City man infected with HIV arrested, accused of trying to spread the disease to people that he met online. 7 News has learned that the man on your screen right here, 36-year-old Martin Cram, used to live in Denver. And Lindsay Watts just confirming that Cram was posting online ads while he lived here.
That's right, Mike. Oklahoma City police say Cram posted nearly 700 ads on Craigslist, mainly in the personal section. He was looking for women, men, couples, transsexuals. According to arrest records, those ads were posted from 2008 up until the present. Now, the majority of them were in Oklahoma, but police have confirmed that Cram was also posting when he lived here in Colorado. In and 2011.
Mami Edu appeared on Happy FM on Tuesday with a 16-year-old pregnant girl who claims to have been impregnated by the suspect. Their issue was that Daniel, an HIV/AIDS carrier, had sexual intercourse with the girl with the intent to pass on his HIV virus to her.
County man who is HIV positive is facing felony prison time for having unprotected sex. A former girlfriend is now seeking a blood test to determine if she has contracted from him the virus which causes AIDS. West 2's Bob Keeling joins us live now at the sheriff's office with this story you'll see only on 2.
Yeah, it's interesting. Right now, the sheriff's department says they've identified one potential victim, which means this suspect faces a potential of up to 5 years in prison. However, under Florida law, if multiple alleged victims are identified, that potential goes all the way up to 30 years. Now, this evening, a sheriff spokeswoman says that they believe that this man was involved with this alleged victim earlier in 2014, and they do acknowledge that there are some questions about his status before that, between the time back to all the way to 2011 when he allegedly told the detective that he found out he was HIV positive. So there are questions about whether there are more potential victims. Reporting live at Sheriff's Headquarters, Bob Keeling, West 2 News.
Tonight at 11, we're hearing from the ex-wife of a man who says he purposely tried to infect people here in West Michigan with HIV. David Dean Smith, who is HIV positive, says he had sex and did drugs with thousands of people, hoping to spread the virus.
And I would like to also tell you that I turn myself in for all of this.
Through unprotected sex and sharing needles to inject illegal drugs, Smith claims he may have exposed thousands of people.
Total shock. I can't believe it. I can't express. This was a normal guy. We were married, looking at having children and starting a future together.
When you get into this industry, it's not something you think about when they fill your head with all this stuff and they tell you that the testing is there in place to protect you. They tell you you'll get tested every month. They have a clinic in place for performers called AIM to protect you from getting STDs and HIV. So actually, I felt that with this in place, I was more protected than outside in the real world where I wasn't being tested. After being in the industry for 1 month, I came up with 3 STDs in a period of a month. I came up with chlamydia, gonorrhea, and herpes. October 8th was my test with AIM where I first tested positive.
We've been on the story for years. Now, Tony Perkins, accused of having sex with at least 16 women and not telling them he has HIV, is heading to prison.
Yeah, and that is not the end of the story for Perkins. 24-hour News 8's Debbie Knox has the latest.
Yeah, Karen and Dave, surprisingly, Tony Perkins is talking a little more openly about his case and why he pleaded guilty to some of the charges. But we also spoke with some of his victims, and they tell us this guy is still not remorseful. Tony Perkins' case is like a reality show gone horribly wrong. Perkins is HIV positive and had unprotected sex with women that he was dating.
Police say this man admitted to potentially exposing more than 300 sex partners to HIV without telling them. He's accused of inflicting or infecting his former live-in partner with the virus. David Lee Mangum was arrested on a charge of recklessly infecting another person with HIV, which is a felony. Police say Mangum told him that he didn't tell his partners about his HIV status because of fear of rejection. Now, if convicted, he could get up to life in prison.
Tonight, this man has been charged with knowingly infecting a man with HIV, and the San Diego City attorney is looking into possibly dozens of other victims.
10 News reporter Jennifer Jensen is here now, and Jen, you actually spoke to one of his accusers just hours ago.
Yes, I did, and I can tell you that he was devastated. Now, I poured over most of these 95 pages of court documents and evidence, and I can tell you the text message that the man is accused of sending after his encounters are shocking. He says the day he learned about Guerra's crime, he was hours away from proposing.
I don't even know who I was living with. I don't know who I had fallen in love with.
In this lengthy crime report, there are dozens of text messages and emails which appear to show that Guerra tells his potential victims that he is HIV negative when they ask. He has sex with them and then brags to his friends via text messages that he just infected someone else.
I know of 24 individuals that have been impacted by this.
Some women lashed out in court against a pastor accused not only of having extramarital affairs, but of failing to tell the women he is HIV positive. Craig Davis faced a judge for sentencing today, and Fox 5's Doug Evans was in that courtroom in Clayton County.
One of the victims was here in Clayton County Court. She says Craig Davis, a minister she trusted, ruined her life and the lives of many more women. Women he never told that he was HIV positive.
It has been an ongoing nightmare, ongoing. I've woken up out of my sleep with anxiety, uncontrollable shakes, thinking that I was HIV positive.
Craig Davis, an Atlanta minister, had denied everything. The sex outside his marriage, the status of HIV positive. But a Clayton County jury convicted him this week of 2 counts of reckless HIV, a felony. One of the church women who says she had unprotected sex with Davis told the judge in this sentencing hearing that she's the one serving a life sentence, even though she has tested negative for HIV.
My smiles are empty, my laughs are empty, my hellos are empty, my hugs, kisses, touches are empty.
Leon Lee police say Brandon Schulich knew he had HIV and still had unprotected sex with several women without telling them his HIV status. Vermilion police told us they began to investigate Schulich after receiving complaints from several women who recently tested positive for HIV. The common thread, they had all had sex with Schulich.
HIV's kind of been out of the spotlight. So we hope that this is an opportunity to remind people that HIV is still out there and that they need to take the necessary steps to protect themselves.
In other news, 28-year-old adult film star Cameron Bay's health has brought the porn industry to a halt after it was revealed this week that she tested positive for HIV. Bay has come forward to confirm her diagnosis, which prompted a moratorium on the making of pornography in California.
News 4 at 5 o'clock in high definition.
Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Mark Cox. Hundreds of area men who hired a local prostitute may have been knowingly or unknowingly exposed to the HIV virus. This woman, 20-year-old Nagala Gibbs, is now in custody, and the search for her customers is on. Lori Waters is live in Clayton with more details. Lori?
Well, Mark, police have located 2 of the men who patronized Gibbs, and their potential exposure to HIV is the basis for these charges. It is against the law in Missouri to be positive for HIV and not tell your partner. Police say that Gibbs knew she was HIV positive and worked as a prostitute anyway.
I'll be back.